Perché l'assassino non lo vedi? Che non lo sapete.
Come ho già detto, succedeva a Milano.
start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many, when the old one's gone under the night. And I can feel the sun on my skin, beginning to fall from within. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live. This morning has a clearer light as any, to see the horizon and the far. Excuses were 2 for a penny, but they've all gone out